This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Sunset Trail travel trailer, model 222RB. Okay, this is not a floor plan or sales video, it's just a how-to video, so I'm going to show you some of the features and how it works, okay? First of all, you have power stabilizer jacks on this one, so you have one switch controls both rear, and then up front you're going to have another switch that controls both front. Now, let me walk around to the other side real quick to take a look here. Now this one can be cranked manually. You can see it's got a shaft with a pin through it right there. So keep that in mind. You can actually crank it manually in an emergency. Let's see what we got in here. Bear with me, please. Okay, yeah, so you can see this particular crank right here has a cylinder with a slot cut in it, right? If you can see it, I'm trying to, yes. So there it is right there. So that'll fit right over that shaft with a pin, and you can actually crank these stabilizers down manually in an emergency. Now, while we're talking about cranks, this smaller one right here, that's for the power tongue jack. If your power tongue jack was to ever fail, you can just pull this plug, put that crank on there, and crank it manually also. Okay, so let's go back down to where I was at. You have an outside kitchen here. You have a regular dorm type refrigerator. This is a drip grease pan for the griddle here. You have running water, of course. This pulls out like so. And let me look here to see what he's got. This has a hose, an LP hose here. Let me see. Okay, so you can see it's got a male end here. Well, this male end, let me get over here. This male end will plug right into this quick connect here. So that's how you attach it to the LP system. Okay? Then you'll have a gas supply to it. As we move down a little bit, this is the water heater, the outside of the water heater. The water heater tank is directly in the back of this, attached to the back of this. Now I just want to show you this works on gas and electric. The switches to control it are inside. But keep in mind, this is a drain plug here, a drain cap anyway. It takes an 1 1/16 6-point socket to take that off, and that's where you would drain your water heater at. If you drain it, because you're not going to be camping for a while, and you don't want to get stagnant water in there that smells like rotten eggs, that sort of thing, you'll drain it out. Just make sure you fill it back up before you turn the electric heating element on. You don't want, or the gas for that matter. You don't want to do damage to it because you're dry firing it. So always make sure you fill it back up if you've drained it. I'll show you the switches for this when we get inside. Okay, you have a power awning with LED strip, outside speakers. This is a TV hookup here. You got a power, and then you got a TV signal here. Okay, this is just the vent for the LP furnace. These are the switch for your front stabilizers. Okay, I showed you the cranks here. Now this sprayer right here, there'll be sprayer ports, at least one on this trailer, maybe two. I'll point them out as I get to them, but that's just to hose things down. Your hitch is a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. So it's a good hitch. We'll show you how that operates when you pick up. 2 LP tanks full, of course your power tongue jack. You have a deep cycle marine battery, a brand new one. And this is the kill switch for the battery. If you ever want to shut it off, you can do it right there. Okay? So, moving around to the off-door side. Let's see what we have here. So this wired thing is telling us it's pre-wired for a solar panel and a solar controller. That's all it's saying. The wires are behind there. So you could put a solar controller here, and then up on the roof there's going to be hookups to hook up a solar panel if you wanted to do that, or panels for that matter. So that's what that's all about. This is your dump hose, of course. this is where you this is your water dock here. So most common way to get water to the trailer is the city water hookup right here. So you're going to just put the hose on there, turn it on, you're all set to go. Now if you happen to be camping at a campsite that does not have plumbing, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here. Just pre-fill it right there, and we use the onboard pump to pump the water. I'll show you the switch for the pump inside, but even if you don't have city water, you can pre-fill this tank and everything will function as though you have city water. All the plumbing will, okay? Also, when we're talking about fresh water, that white gate valve right there, that's to dump your fresh water tank. That's to empty it out. Also, let me back up here a bit, find where the valves are. So these are your dump valves here. The one on the left is your black tank, which is toilet water and waste, and then the one on the right is your gray tank, sink and shower water. And then those two, that red and blue hoses with the caps on it, those are the low points of your plumbing. That's used when winterizing and dewinterizing, okay? So after you dump your black tank, you can leave the valve open in the open position. You have to do that. Then you can come and hook the hose at the dump station right onto this flush right here. That's the power flush, and that will basically spray out the inside of your black tank. It'll clean up the sensors so you get a good accurate reading, and it's a really good thing to do. So if you have a working hose at the dump station, you should always do that. Alright, so you have a slide topper on this obviously, and this particular type of slide out, just so you know, is called an Accu slide. There are different types. The cables tell us that this is called an Accu slide. Okay, you have a 30-foot 30-amp power cord right here. We also give you an adapter for the end, so you can adapt it down to a 20 amp, so you can plug it in at home to if you're packing it up or whatever you're doing. All right, so this housing up here tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera. So if you wanted to add one, you would get the Furrion camera that fits in that housing, and it's kind of a plug-and-play deal. There's usually not much to it, so you just would plug it in, and you would take the monitor up into your tow vehicle, and you can see what's happening behind you. Also, while we're looking up, the manufacturer states that you should inspect your roof every 90 days. So someone should go up there, look at all the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation where water can get in. Make sure there's no damage to the roofing attachments or to the roofing material by low branches or road debris, that sort of thing. Odds are you won't have to do anything for a long time, but you're inspecting it just to make sure. You're just protecting your investment. This is where that sprayer hooks up right here. This is locked here, but this has cable and satellite hookups that go to your entertainment center. So that's what's behind there. So. Okay, so let's go inside, see what else we've got in here. Okay, so as we come in the door, this should be a closet slash pantry, yes. Okay, as we come around, this is your entertainment area, and this is your control panel right here. So let's start with the control panel. This switch is for your power awning. Very simple, in and out. Never leave it out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in. This is for your slide room, in and out, okay? Your awning light here, lights here, okay? This is your water pump. I told you you can use the water pump to pump fresh water out of the water tank if you don't have city water. That's right there. You also use that water pump to winterize the trailer. To light your water heater on gas, it's right here. The fault light is up there. To turn it on electric, it's right here. Remember I told you, always make sure there's water in the tank. And this also has tank heaters in it, so there are heating pads on all three tanks. And so you can extend your camping season without them freezing, and you turn that on right there. Okay, then you have your levels, batteries charged. Fresh water has a little in it because we're prepping it. Black is empty. There's no black 2, just black 1, and then gray. Okay, so they graduate up in 1/3 increments. So when you get to past 2/3, you just kind of got to start thinking about dumping the gray in the black tank. Now the TV is more than just a TV. First of all, it has Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone or tablet. It has FM radio. It's got an HDMI in. Okay. Also, it has 2 speaker zones. Zone 1 is inside the trailer. Zone 2 is outside the trailer. There's a, I don't know where you got it exactly, but there is a remote for that too. I don't know where. I didn't prep this one, but it's in here. Okay. Now, one more thing about this area. This is a power converter, right? So this converts AC to DC power. So you start off with, as long as you're plugged into shore power, you start off with a 120 AC on this side. You have regular circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled, right? Then the power is, that's 120 AC. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here. So you got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. Now keep in mind these 240s are masters. So if you ever are in a situation where you have like a wild power surge or something, and the left hand or all the 12 volt side goes out, always check here first, because that's where the problem's almost always at. They're just doing their job. Okay, so keep that in mind. Also, this is a battery tender, so it's going to sense how much energy your battery needs and has. This is the battery up front, and it'll act accordingly. If it's charged, it'll just trickle a couple amps up there to maintain it. If it's low, it can send 10 amps or whatever it needs to make sure your battery is charged. Of course, when you're pulling the tow vehicle down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the battery also. So there's 2 ways to charge it. Okay. Also, it's got a little a tinted plastic window there. If any of those fuses were to blow, they actually light up, so you can see them through this plastic here. Okay. So it converts AC to DC power, plus it tends and charges your battery. All right. Okay, so you have a range hood right here with a light on it. You have your microwave works like any other microwave. Your range, I don't know if he's got the gas turned on. If not, I'll just talk you through it. This is a newer employee who did this, and I'm not sure how he handles it, but we'll give it a shot. This is either way, I'll talk you through it. This is the sparker. You turn it clockwise to spark, right? You got 3 knobs and 3 burners, and then the last one is for the oven. So let's see what we got here. Now, the gas is not turned on at this moment. But when you turn it on, you spark it, it will light. Now, when it comes to the oven, all the way down at the back, on the bottom, is a pilot light. I don't know if you can see anything back there, but anyway, basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to the picture of the pilot light here, and you depress it, then you light it, and after it lights, you hold this in for another 10 seconds. You still have it depressed. You hold it for another 10 seconds till the thermocouple heats up. Then you're going to go to operating temperature. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay, hopefully that made sense to you. This is just a reducer for your power cord to reduce it down from a 30 to a 20. Okay. That is your Bluetooth brake controller. We're going to show you how that operates also when you pick up. Your table, which connects right there. You also have, let me just look here. Like I said, I did not prep this one. Yeah, you have a compartment underneath here. So you have that. The table will come apart, and you can stow it under there. This pulls loose from this section, so you can stow the table under there. Your refrigerator is a 12 volt DC compressor style refrigerator. So this runs on 12 volt DC, on obviously, and hold the buttons for a few seconds. They don't just, you can't just click them on. You got to hold them when you're dealing with the on and off. After you do that, you can set the temperature here, plus and minus, and then you have energy saving modes here. So you can on a cool night you can kick it into night mode, and it will use less energy if you than it would during the peak of the day, for example. Okay. This device here is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is. If it's not green, If the LED is not glowing green, get it serviced, because it's very important, obviously. It'll check for LP gas leaks and carbon monoxide buildup. If it detects it, it'll go off. If it goes off, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, figure out what's going on. Also, if it beeps very slowly, it's telling you that your battery is low. So it's also a low battery reminder. So I'll just put it through the test so you can hear it. LP is good, carbon monoxide coming up. And then, of course, the low battery alert. Goes back to green. Like I said, it should always be green. Okay, so this is your thermostat. It works like all thermostats. You hit the mode button to light it up. Then you just scroll through. It'll go from off to fan. The fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. It just circulates air. The next one would be cool, which is air conditioning, and then of course heat, which is your LP furnace. It also will give you fan options on the air conditioner. Always run it on auto. Like if you want, you'll have low auto and high auto. Always run it on auto. That's the best way to run it. Let me see some light in here. So you have a vent. Always run the vent with the shower. Also, if you've got a bunch of people over and it's the time of year where you're going to have condensation from your breath, you can run this fan and it'll pull it right out of the trailer. So keep that in mind. It also deals with condensation. This is a GFCI here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired to a GFCI, so even the one on the outside. So if you're using something outside and it pops, this is where you're going to reset it. The shower works like any other shower. Always make sure it's closed when you're traveling. Oops, I'm sorry, I should be pointing. Sorry about my camera work. It has a magnetic strip here to hold it together, plus you got your rubber bungee type deal. Okay. The sink works like any other sink. Now the toilet is an RV toilet, so you can't use it dry. By dry, I'm talking about directly below is the black tank, right? So when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water, right? Then you come inside and you'll dump 1 dose of chemical in the bowl. Then you'll stand on the pedal and let about a gallon or so of water flow into it. Some people use more. It's up to you. But the bottom line is you have to have chemical and water in it before you start using it. Otherwise the smell will be terrible, plus it can get clogged up. So always make sure when you're starting off with an empty black tank, chemical and water. Okay? Alrighty. We can go up front. This is just telling you there's a hookup here. If you wanted to add a public Wi-Fi signal booster with a router, that's what it's saying this is wired for. There's also one of these on the roof too. So, also, and this is obviously your smoke detector. Okay. So there is some storage underneath the bed, obviously. You have another vent here, which is a good thing. You have TV hookups here, plus there's a backer plate here so you can hang a bracket. So you can swing it out and see it from the bed. And this is your emergency escape window. It goes just like this. You would push it all the way through. You grab a hold of this red tab and pull the screen out, and you can escape during an emergency. You can also use it like this to ventilate, obviously. Okay, I think that about does it. Let me look around here. Yes. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer at National RV Detroit. And second of all, please remember what I said about the manufacturer states every 90 days look at the roof and make sure everything's in good shape. You're just protecting your investment. Odds are you won't have to do anything to it. You're just looking. But that's why you inspect, just in case you have an issue. You stay ahead of it and you protect your investment, okay? And then number 3, this has been de-winterized. So all the antifreeze has been purged out of the system. The water heater is in camping mode right now. It's filled with fresh water and it's ready to be used, okay? Thank you.